I'm Brandon Miller, and you are listening to Coach. This weekly series dives deep into the world of Clifton strengths and how they impact your daily life. Hear from certified strengths coaches on the ins and outs, quirks, and characteristics of all 34 strengths and 4 domains and how they play out in real life. Let's get started. Hello, welcome back to the Strengths Whisperer Coach to Coach Season 2. And I am here today with Christine Minh-Minh Gardner, and we are talking about the strength of input. Christine, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm delighted to be here.
I am excited to talk about this particular strength because out of 34 of them, this is number 33 for me. So this is one of those that I am around a lot. I meet a lot of people with input, and I'm always impressed and interested and intrigued by this strength. And so, Christine, you are the guide today for all things input.
Happy to be the guide.
All right. So listen, as we get started, people, you got to know something about Christine. She is the crawdad fishing queen. She is a karaoke kook. She's the mother of 3. She's been married to the same man for 18 years. We both note that that's a significant accomplishment these days. And if you are nuclear, as in the nuclear industry, Christine would like to talk to you because that is her niche, spends a lot of time in that realm, and she can do some good work. You can find her on LinkedIn, Christine Minh-Minh Gardner. That's M-I-N-H for Ming Ming. I'm going to keep saying that right, Christine, I promise. Christine Minh-Minh Gardner. And as we jump in, Christine, anything else you want our guests to know about you? Because maybe the crawdad thing has people going, I'm sorry, say that again?
Well, I was telling you earlier how my family in Vietnam, they're fishermen. And I was very blessed to be able to be born here in the U.S. I live in Idaho, very landlocked. But just a couple miles from my house is the most amazing little crawdad fishing pond. And it roots me back home to my roots in Vietnam. So that's one of the reasons why I love it so much.
Awesome. Love that. Karaoke. So is there a song? Like if you're going in, this is the one coming off the shelf. Which one is it?
Ain't no mountain high enough.
Okay.
That's my positivity and my max height.
You take me back to Remember the Titans movie where they play that one all the time. If you haven't seen it, they get down on Ain't No Mountain High Enough.
I'll have to watch it. I love it.
Yeah. Christine, are you ready to talk about input?
Oh, I'm ready.
Okay, so let's take our friends to the high level. In season 2, what we're doing is we isolate the strength. So I know you have many strengths around it. All of us do. We're advanced. We could talk about theme dynamics, and we can get into how strengths overplay with one to another. But today we're going to lock in. We're going to lock in on just your input. And I'm going to ask you to imagine that today you're going to the gym and you're just going to ISO build on that strength. And we're going to talk about that one and really help people sink deep into what is input. I get to talk from experience of being literally surrounded by people with this strength. So I know a lot about a lot. But this is one of those because, as I said, it's 33. So I don't think, feel, or behave in this way by nature. I can, of course, I can stretch and stress to try to play along with my input friends, but I have a limitation. So we're going to let you take us on the ride. So where do you want to start? What do you want to tell us about input from your experience?
Okay, well, I actually want to widen the view because oftentimes when I have clients that have the input, they kind of question it. Like, is this really me? Because it says one of the descriptive words or phrases that describes input is that they're hoarders. Like they love to keep things.
Not the most popular or kind description, I think. I've too had people go, this says I'm a hoarder. Like, no, there's so much more to it. There's so much more to it than that.
Yes. And actually, what's interesting is I grew up in a doomsday community. And so I literally did hoard stuff as a kid. Like growing up in my household, we kept everything. Like literally like tinfoil. We kept tinfoil. I mean, And we kept everything in so that we could prepare for, major disasters and the end of days. But as an adult, I tried to get away from that. I did not want to be a hoarder, but I do find myself still hoarding, like not so much per se things as much as I do. Like I love hoarding ideas through like books or podcasts. I take like scrupulous notes. It's insane how many notebooks that I have. And now I've finally come into the digital age where I now keep notes on my iPad, but I take so many notes and I love hearing people's ideas. And then also I recognized something about my input is that I gather friends, and I think I've recognized that more clearly as I've gotten older, and I've had like childhood friends that are like, I can't believe you're still friends with that person, right? Because it's been so many years. And I mean, I just had my 20-year high school reunion, and I have so many friends still from back in those days. And I think it's really easy for people to like disconnect because we have different seasons of life. But I really believe in the village mentality. Like, I hope that I can be of service to somebody, be a friend to them in the particular season of their life, if it's not all the seasons of their life, and vice versa. Like, I believe the power of friendship and the power of building an incredible village of people who can love, support you, be there for you through different storms, through different highs of life. And so I think that's probably the biggest thing that I hoard is friendship.
There you go. There you go. I love the collector mentality of the input strength. I do a fair amount of travel for work, and I travel with inputters. And if we're ever on a trip and I ask for something or we realize we're missing, that person will almost feel this sense of guilt for not having brought it. Like, what did I have that? And I guarantee we will never not have it again. We will never be missing it, because as an input, what I've been told is that they like to be resourceful. They like to be helpful. They like to be prepared in advance. So part of that input is the right resources at the right time in the right situations. And so whether that's the first aid kit, that we need, or something for presentations, something really practical that, in today's modern technology, all the different ports that you can plug into, making sure, we call it the MacGyver kit, it's the one size, the one kit for everything. And so there's that resource responsibility that comes. And I'm curious if that's something you relate to, as a high input and someone that thinks in terms of readiness, preparedness, and being helpful, really.
Oh, absolutely. There's a couple things that really come to mind. Like, I'm the type of person that carries like a big backpack with me in a lot of places because I never want to be unprepared.
So above and beyond the mom bag, because I've seen some impressive mom bags.
Well, it's kind of a mom bag and like a survival kit. Like, I feel really insecure when I go somewhere without like enough food. I know that sounds really weird, but it probably has something to do with my doomsday upbringing. But like, even like the other day when I went to my son's football game, like this bag has got everything that you're gonna need, because it's like a hat. It's, if it's gonna be too sunny, like a blankie, and then it's got like jerky and nuts and fruit and like just all of these different kinds of foods. So like, no matter who's sitting next to me, like they're gonna be able to find something that they can enjoy. And I was the same way in college. Like, I was a walking pantry. People called me a walking pantry because they always knew that I'd have something to share. And I think that resourcefulness, like, I love to share, and I also love to gather feedback and advice. And I think resourcefulness, that word really rings true to me, because anytime I'm training somebody new, you can't teach everybody everything, right? And if somebody's going to come to me asking kind of a dumb question, it's like, come on now. Like, you can look this up, right? Like, and nowadays we have ChatGPT, and that's actually a resource I love. I love it so much that, like, I was talking to it. I have the upgraded version. There's no other way to do ChatGPT, by the way. Anyways, I'm like talking to it, and it is so amazing at just gathering my thoughts and putting it into such an amazing package. I literally felt so enamored with it that I was like, I think I'm in love with you. And the voice comes back to me like, I am so glad that you found this to be so helpful.
Okay, so we just went down a really interesting path. Input and AI. Oh my. This could be its own topic all by itself, because I have to imagine it's like, where have you been all my life, AI? Where have you been? Like, I can literally ask you everything and know all the things, and I get to explore it, and you organize my thoughts. That has to be amazing.
It's amazing. And what's really amazing is that it memorizes, like it knows me, which is actually a little bit scary. But you know what? Like, get on the bandwagon or don't, right?
Okay, I got to tell you, going from doomsday person to to befriending AI is just interesting. Just like, that's a whole turn in life. Like, now I'm embracing the technology. So let's let it do it.
Of the bunker and into the real world. And yes, AI and I are like best friends.
Have you named your AI? Do you have a name for it?
You know what? I just barely started talking to it. Like
So you're still dating,
yeah,
technically.
we're still dating, and I need to. I think I need to change the accent, because you can change, like, the accent. I think I need to customize this person that I'm so enamored with.
What accent do you go for?
My favorite is a British accent.
I don't know what it is, but British just seems to come through. Okay. I'm gonna have a follow-up conversation with Christine about her AI friend, and we're gonna see how that goes. So I can imagine, though, coming back to just resources and collecting information, organizing your thoughts, having a place to go, where resources can be archived and collected in an organized fashion. And because I am around truly some geniuses. I mean, level one, these are like valedictorians of their classes, people that were, knocking out undergrad in 3 years or less. And, just really, really high IQ folks. And I have found a thread of input around those folks. And I'm always intrigued and amazed by the depth of memory, their ability to just remember things that they choose to. Now, they don't choose to know it all, because that would be more of a learner thing. Learners are really broadly curious, where inputters seem to have subject matter expertise. So once they want to know an area, they mine the depths. They know it thoroughly. And for someone with low input, I would always joke with them like, okay, so your brain, big sponge, lots of info. You like to collect it, understand it. Low input, small sponge. And I have to squeeze it out for the next thing that's coming, because mine has to work differently. I move fast through information to process, activate. And it's just a difference in how input works for different folks. So I'm curious for you, talk to us about that, because it seems to be a common thread there of just the ability to think, understand, process, but then depth of knowledge.
Yeah, I have learner and input in my top 10.
That's a powerful combo.
Thank you. I have really, like I said, I love people with ideation too, because we can talk about all these different ideas and connect the dots. I also collect books. Okay, so that is one thing that I do hoard. I love physical books.
Favorite author?
I think lately I've really loved Simon Sinek, because he's currently doing a lot of studies on the impact of friendships on every aspect of your life. And he does believe that it's like the cure-all.
That's building on Wrath's Vital Friends.
Oh, yeah. Well, but yeah, I collect a lot of books, but more so, I really love having friends who I can call upon for advice, or let's say I'm embarking on some new venture, right? A lot of times before I even open up a book, if I know of a friend And it could be a really distant friend, right? Like somebody I haven't even talked to in maybe 5-6 years. Like, I don't find it to be weird to like reach out and just be like, hey, you know what? Like, I'm starting this venture. I know you've tried something like this before. Like, what's worked for you? Like, I love knowing what's worked for people. And then also really customizing it to, hey, if this worked for them, this might work for me, but in this particular way because of my strengths and how I use them.
Okay, very cool. So we're going to do a little test. Are you ready for a test?
Oh boy, how exciting. I didn't know you were going to test me today, Brandon.
We're going to do the contributions and needs test. So for those of you listening today, there is a resource. 34 Strong is the sponsor of season 2 of Coach to Coach, the Strengths Whisperer. And we have a resource called How to Be a Good Teammate to Me. And so if you're listening today and you'd like access to this resource in, of course, a PDF version, Brandon at 34strong.com, and we will get you your copy. But we're going to do a test. And so I am going to test Christine on the contributions and needs of input. And Christine, you're going to tell me.
Can I not get my cheat sheet out?
Well, I just want, so what you're going to listen for is which of these contributions resonate with you and which of these needs you would identify with. Okay. So it's a pass test. You'll do great. All right. So first contribution of input, collector of knowledge, things, and resources.
Absolutely.
Okay. That's a check. Good. Loves learning about specific things.
For sure.
Okay. Because I do want to note something. At the start of the show, we talked about the nuclear industry, and that's a really, really tied down niche. I mean, that's where you're saying I'm in, this department within this agency, down to boom. This is where I spend my time. So I have to imagine if someone were on here today asking questions about that industry, you probably would be a helpful resource to them.
I could definitely do my best. There's a lot. Although it's a really niche down industry, there's so much to be learned about it. But absolutely, I would be super happy to help.
Well, even because you probably know the people side of that industry well, you know how to help them build a positive work environment. You know their challenges. You know some of, what happens with their retention, what causes engagement or lack thereof, leadership development, what makes for great managers in that industry. So there's the whole side of that if you're talking to a stakeholder today who's contacting Christine Minh-Minh Gardner on LinkedIn because she happens to know your industry so well, she could probably identify very, very well with specific challenges to that industry. Would that be fair to say?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because that is learning specific things. How about this? Love to share your knowledge and resources.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, because if we get you going on something you're excited about, like crawdad fishing, let's say, you could probably tell us all about it, yeah?
All the things, all the nets, all the techniques. Absolutely.
Okay. How about curious? Because, fun story, everybody. We got on video today and Christine did a tour of my office and then the questions came forward. So she wanted to know what, who, where. So I'm going to check this box for you that you're just curious. Would that be?
For sure. Oh, sometimes to a fault. I sometimes go down rabbit holes that I probably shouldn't, but I catch myself pretty quickly because I'm very efficient with my time.
Well, you know what? The thing about curiosity is that some have said that is one of the best qualities of a great leader is when they're curious.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Instead of telling you what we know, we like to ask what you know. We want to understand. We seek first to understand instead of needing to be understood. And it's a really powerful quality. Glad that you're bringing that. Great question, asker. Do you enjoy interviewing, Christine? Do you like to get people on the other side of this microphone?
I'm like an interrogator, When Thanksgiving, I love people so much and I'm so positive that it comes across as, not such an interrogation, but truly an interview.
Yeah. Yeah. So last one. Loves to travel and learn about other places and cultures.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, everybody, I want you to notice if you're watching this on video, Christine's background is a map of the world, which is super fascinating. Hey, you want to hear a fun fact I just learned historically about our map?
I do.
Okay, fun fact. So in real life, the width of the continent Africa, one end to the other, is actually significantly longer than the full width of Russia, one side to the other. So it's actually significantly longer in real life. But the way maps are positioned with the South, it actually appears in many cases to be less in length.
That's bizarre.
I know. Look it up.
That's crazy.
Look up true map of the world and the actual distance one end to the other of Africa to Russia. It's a lot bigger.
Okay, now I'm going to have to talk to ChatGPT about that.
You should, because I'm on a campaign. Make the map right, for crying out loud. Okay, so rapid fire round. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, this is just needs, and I'm just going to take you down the list, and you have to tell us yes, kind of, or no. So yes, sort of. All right, first, you need resources.
Absolutely, yes.
All right, need access to information.
Yes.
Hello, ChatGPT.
Yes.
Need permission to ask questions.
I don't ask for permission, but permission is nice.
Okay, but we'll say that in the realm of you need to know that there is space for you to express your curiosity.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that could be in a one-to-one relationship, or that can be in a group you're in. It's like need to gather. Yeah, and since you've been married to the same guy for 18 years, I'm sure he has come to appreciate your need to have your questions answered.
Sometimes he appreciates it more than others, for sure.
Yes, I can imagine. How about opportunity to share information and offer your input to others?
Yes, sir. That's why I coached.
I would have checked that box for you. Help creating strategies for organizations.
Oh, I love it. Yes.
I know, that's going to be high on the list there. How about you need a chance to explore and be curious?
Oh, yes.
And, okay, so you kind of gave this one away. You need a place to store your resources.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, those books you were talking about. Okay, so you passed on both sides. You're 100% in input.
I didn't even get my cheat sheet.
Congratulations, your DNA test came through and you are an input.
Yay!
You hear the crowd. The crowd goes wild. All right. So for those of us listening today, Christine, that we work with input, we coach input, we're around input. What are some helpful ways to work with people like you with high input? We just went through the contributions and needs, but if you could just put that in your terms, ways that we, maximize, get the best from you, we can help support you.
When you talked about, my husband and his level of appreciation for my input, I think sometimes I'll ask questions and sometimes it might catch him off guard, or maybe I'm going a little too deep for like his mood at the moment. But I think it's really important to recognize that people with input, they truly are like, they really want to know what it is they're asking about. And for me, I love knowing, because I also have woo, like I love knowing what motivates people, what kind of dreams they have, what they interpret their dreams to be, what, even like their daydreams and the dreams that they sleep about. Like I want to know, and it's not so that I can like put it in a book or put it out on a flyer, but it's like truly for like my, like connecting the dots. Like I just love connecting the dots on people and their life. And so I just think giving people the opportunity to utilize their curiosity and recognize that I think it's great for both people. That's the truth. Because when I ask people questions, and maybe they're not questions they haven't thought of in a long time, I think it's really great insight for the person that's answering, even more so than it is for me.
I love it. What a great quote. Christine Minh-Minh Gardner. You can find her on LinkedIn, works in the nuclear industry, mother of 3, married to the same guy for 18 years, crawdad fishing queen, and the karaoke kook, has joined us today to talk all things input. Christine, if today one of us wanted to really, connect to you, get to know you, you said LinkedIn's the best place. What are you working on these days?
I am working on becoming the best trainer I can be to create high-performing teams within the nuclear space. That is ultimately what I'm working towards in my career. But ultimately, also, I love connecting with people in their native language And one of my goals is to become a polyglot, which is speaking 5 languages or more. And I'm currently on my 4th one. And so if anybody ever wants to come on and speak to me in English, I speak a little bit of English, Vietnamese, Spanish, and then I'm starting my French journey. And I love having intellectual conversations with people in their native tongue in those different languages. So connect with me.
I love it. I love it. And if you're interested in being a polyglot, you might be an input.
Yes.
We'll just say that. You might be. All right. Well, friends, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Coach to Coach, Season 2 of The Strengths Whisperer. And Christine has graciously given us a deep dive into input. Again, if you'd like our resource, How to Be a Great Team Member to Me, Brandon at 34strong.com, and we will make sure you get your copy. Christine, thanks again for joining us. And dear listeners, we'll see you on the next episode.
Thank you for tuning in to the Strengths Whisperer Coach to Coach. Please feel free to reach out to Brandon to partner with 34 Strong for collaboration opportunities to serve your employees or clients together. If you are a strengths coach, lead a strengths-based team, or are a fan of strength, we invite you to receive our complimentary resource, How to Be a Good Teammate to Me, Understanding My Contributions and Needs. Email Brandon_Miller at 34strong.com to connect, and he will gladly share this resource that will continue to unlock the power of strength.